Hello, I'm Dr Genevieve and I'm a clinical psychologist, and I'm building a supportive community for highly sensitive people through my weekly newsletter, the HSP Revolution. So if you're interested in receiving more content, then please do subscribe by clicking on the link below. And each month I do a monthly check-in for HSPs to look at some of the themes that are coming up. And of course, for this month of March, there's a whole lot going on in the world right now, and I know all of us are looking at the news and we're all aware of the big crises happening on the globe. And for us sensitives, obviously, because we feel so deeply and we process things so deeply, many of us are feeling or picking up on a lot of the pain and distress, sadness, uncertainty and fear out there at the moment. So it's a hard balance to maintain, and it's something that I talk about in my newsletter this week. But how do we keep informed, which is very important, keep informed on the news and what's happening, but also look after ourselves and not get burnt out by it. You know, we can, as HSPs, be prone to burnout and empathy burnout. So it's so important to find your ways of coming back to a place of equilibrium and centeredness and groundedness. So that was the first thing I really wanted to acknowledge, is just being very aware. It's a very unsettling time at the moment. And the first theme I wanted to bring up as well was, whilst we're all looking out there, it's important to remember the changes that are going on in our own lives, both internally and externally. I'm speaking to a lot of HSPs at the moment who have a lot of things happening, and us HSPs, we don't like change because we don't like changes in our routine. We like the predictability, we like familiarity. So I think a lot of us tend to resist change. But at the moment, what I would like to do is just invite you to think about, where are the changes in you going on internally? And where are the changes in your life externally, whether that's through work or your relationships or in your family or some other aspect of your life. And to just see if you can start to observe your relationship with change and see if you can start to accept the change, flow with the change, start to embrace the change. Because the more we struggle or resist change, the more stressful life actually becomes. The more we can accept what's happening in our lives, the easier things actually become for us. But we have to first of all understand where the changes are in our life and be aware of our response to it. So that's the first theme for this month. The second one is coming back to the intentions that a lot of us were making at the beginning of the year. And of course the year's still young, we're still in March, it's early on, and to allow yourself, give yourself permission to think about what do I want to accomplish this year? You know, what changes do I want to make in my life? And really visualize it and really revisit those goals. Be very specific about what you're wanting to get out of your life right now. If anything, in a way, when there's big global crises or big things happening in the world, it is an invitation to revisit our own goals and to think about what's important for us, what brings us the greatest meaning in our lives. And finally, I want to go back to this because it's so important for us all, but how do we stay grounded? How do we stay centered as HSPs, particularly at the moment in these times when I know most of us don't feel that relaxed right now. A lot of us feel very unsettled. But if you can think about your routine and the ways that you process emotion through the body, whether that's through walking in nature, through exercise. Mine is breath work. I have to breathe and do my breath work each day to clear out what's coming through me. But really it's so important to try and develop that as a daily practice, to find your ways to ground and center. Because I truly believe that as HSPs, we have some of the qualities that the world really needs right now. The world needs our empathy, it needs big picture thinking, it needs our vision, it needs our attention to detail, all of the incredible qualities that we have But if we are not grounded, if we are not regulated, if our nervous systems are completely spiked, then obviously we're running on empty. And we all know that it's important to fill up our own cup, and then we've got so much more to give. And it also just helps us to cope with what's going on in the world right now, you know, in terms of the headlines we're seeing. If we're more grounded in a more centered place, then we're more able to cope with it and able to deal with it. So I hope that's been helpful. If anything in there has resonated for you, then please, I'd love to hear your comments, and I'd love to hear how you're coping at the moment with all of this that's going on, and how you're managing to ground, and how you're managing to cope with change, and also how you're getting on with those intentions. So I look forward to seeing you again soon.